Some men from Ballaghaderreen Mens Shed are visiting this brand new plant in Ballinfull, Tibohan, near Ballaghadreen. But what kind of a plant is it? What exactly does it do? Is it safe and kind to the environment? Tom Colleran is one of the men. Tom.
Ballaghaderreen Mens Shed have been invited out to a biomass facility which is just behind me here. It's situated on the old N5 out of Ballaghadreen, between Ballaghadreen and Tibohan. In the facility they take in waste material which is coming from sewage treatment plants, and they convert that waste material into a gas, and they return the dry matter back that it can be used on farmland for fertiliser at a later stage.
Brian Giblin, a level 8 qualified environmental scientist, manages this anaerobic digestion plant owned by Biocore Environmental Limited. He is helped by fellow workers Kevin Flynn and Jack Fleming on the day-to-day running of the plant.
This is an anaerobic digester. It's run by Biocore Environmental. We take in organic waste material, we feed it through 2 fermenters. Fermenters are full of bacteria. They break it down, they produce biogas. We capture the gas in the 2 fermenters, we feed it over into a gas compression unit, we clean the gas, and then we burn it here on site. We also have a pasteurizer at the back end, so when we treat the material, we run it through a pasteurizer at the back end, and that kills all the bacteria. That reduces our odour issues and all that then, so that we have a nutrient-rich fertiliser.
This is where the process starts. Treated waste from sewage plants throughout the west of Ireland is brought here by lorry and tipped into this sealed tank. Is this where the process starts now?
This will be where the process starts. So that hopper will hold 80 tonne. We're feeding about 40 tonne out of the hopper.
That's obviously underground here now, or under this level.
Down here on the level up. That's the size of the tank now. I don't know what dimensions it is, but 80 tonne.
It's a fair size.
Around 80
you can see it there, all right.
That lid comes down again, it's all sealed up. There's no odour escapes it once it's all sealed up. So yeah, there's an auger at the bottom of that. The auger feeds it down into that machine. And from that machine then we pull material from the tank, so it's warmed and it's got bacteria in it. So we dilute that material with the tanks, and it macerates it all together and then pumps it up into the system.
The 2 tall tanks here in the foreground, what are they for?
They're what we'd call our liquid feed systems. So when we get a tanker of organic material in, say fats, oils and greases, material like that, we pump them into those tanks, and from there we can control how much we feed into our actual plant.
Oh, Brian, what's happening here?
Well, our finished product is what we call Digestate. It's a nutrient-rich fertiliser. So the tractor here is just hooked up to the pipework. We've set the pump inside, so we're going to fill his tanker up for him. He'll close up, he'll go out over the weighbridge, we'll weigh him out, and he'll go to land and spread them.
Brian, the 2 tanks here, what exactly are they? What do they do?
They're what we call our fermenters. So when we get in feedstock, which is our organic material, we add it into the system through a series of pumps and macerators. We pump it all in. The tanks are full of bacteria, they're being agitated. So the bacteria bind to the material, they break it down to produce biogas. The biogas floats to the top and it gets captured on the 2 dome roofs at the top. So from there then we know the volume of gas we have, and it pumps it down to the engines. So that the pressure on the roof actually controls how high your engines run.
And process, how long will it take to complete a cycle of it?
Well, our process here at the minute is we're feeding in our material, it gets pumped into our tank, so it is a retention time in our fermenter 1 for 30 days. We transfer it into fermenter 2, which is our post fermenter. It spends another 30 days in there, and then it goes out the back into a pasteurizer where we pasteurize it and kill all the bacteria in it.
understand that they're a mass concrete construction with a sheeting or cladding on the outside, is that right?
Yeah, well, our fermenters are full of bacteria and they're kept at body temperature, so the waste heat from our engines will be going in to heat the tanks. So the tanks are built out of concrete, and we have them lined in with 100 mil of insulation, and then they're cladded on the outside then just to protect the insulation.
Pasteurizer facility, what's happening there?
After we've treated our material and taken all the gas off it, we have to pasteurize it to kill all the bacteria. So this little machine here in front is it's a macerator. So we have to make sure everything is less than 12 mil before we pasteurize it. So there's like a honeycomb mesh in your macerator and blades that spin around. So we make sure everything is cut less than 12 mil. We pump it into the tanks. The heat from the engines then comes down to the tanks. We heat it up to 70 degrees, we keep it there for 1 hour, and then the tank empties and it refills.
That's the process complete, yeah. Brian, the two unusual colour brown tanks, what's the function of them?
They were what we call sharpened filters. So once we capture the gas on the roofs of the tanks, we pump it over into this green unit here, and that compresses our gas. From there it goes into the carbon filters, and the carbon filters remove the hydrogen sulfide and any moisture content.
Right. And where is the gas stored after that?
Gas goes straight directly into the engines then, and it's burnt.
Right.
It's burnt within the engine, so we produce electricity and heat. We sell the electricity to the national grid, and we use the heat then back in the plants.
Yeah, I was looking at the power lines coming in. Is that your power out?
That's our power out, yeah.
So it's three-phase power going out?
Three-phase power, yeah.
The generators, this is where all the action takes place. This is what it's all about.
This is our finished product. Our main products here is fertilizer and gas. So we produce the biogas in the two fermenters. As I said, we bring it through the gas cooling unit, we bring it through the carbon filters, and then the gas goes into the engines. Engines are pretty much like a diesel engine, only they burn on gas. So we pump in the gas, it burns the gas, produces electricity and heat. We export the electricity and we use the heat back here on site. So this is the generator part of it. This is like a big dynamo. So yeah. This is a gas engine. Our gas comes in through there and it's burnt. So this turns the turbine. The turbine produces the electricity. Electricity goes through our transformer into the substation and out onto the grid. So all this down here then is our heat recovery. So as we're burning our gas, we're producing heat. So we capture all the heat here on site, capture it all in these units here, and it's pumped down back into the site.
It's a 12-cylinder engine.
It's a tractor engine.
Right, it's basically a big engine. What's the purpose of the flare?
The flare is just a mitigating measure for us, so that say for some reason our engines were down and the ESP head is turned off, we'll be producing gas that we wouldn't be able to capture in our roofs. So instead of releasing it to the environment, we'd flare it off.
Or you burn it off now?
We burn it off, yeah. Well, methane would be 20 times worse for the environment than CO2. When you burn methane, you're turning it into CO2 and water, which is better for the environment than actually releasing the methane gas.
The final stage of the process is the production of a dry, organic, odourless fertiliser. Explained to us by Brian.
So,
what happens in the last silo?
The last ones are storage tanks. So when we bring it through these two tanks, we pasteurize it, kill all the bacteria, and pump it into this tank. So from this tank then, it will be pumped up to the shed. We have a dewatering system again, so we'll dewater it again. We'll pump the liquid back down, but we have a dryer above in the shed. So we're still waiting on the dryer to be commissioned. So once that's commissioned, we'll be drying all our own product here again. So we'll have a solid fertiliser for sale. So if you look in there now, that's just the inside of the dryer. Just look underneath even, you can see. It's all blue, it's just a blue plate with holes in it.
Yeah.
So, the heat is around there now at the minute, but just a hole there, so the heat is pulled through, cold air is pulled through these and it's warmed, and it's just pulled up through them, and that's all the dryers.
Tom and Joe have each a bag of this new fertiliser. Let us know how you get on, lads.
this is, we capture all the rainwater from site and it
yeah.
comes down into this, so it's full of reeds and everything. That filters it all out. So even if there was a bit of wash down that got in, you know, the bacteria are all out of it before it ever gets released.
And we use all that again?
No, that's released out into the...
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So we let that, there's a wheel over there, so the pond will be closed. When we get heavy rain, it'll come up, and I have to do tests on it then in the lab over there.
Before you let it out?
Before I can release it.
Yeah.
So if our ppm of the, say there was a lot of solids in it or something, I'd have to notify the council before I released it.
Before you release
So we've never had that issue, we shouldn't ever have the
blue
issue.
wheel at the top of the release valve there, is it?
That's the top of the gate valve, yeah. But that pond, the theory, this whole site has been lined. Before there was ever anything done here, the whole site was dug up. They put down like a carpet layer, it's called GCL, geosynthetic layer, and there's a bentonite clay in it. So when that gets wet then it forms an impermeable barrier. So the whole site is lined. If any of them tanks which burst, it's not going to go into the groundwater, it's going to go into that pond. So there are two tall tanks out the front. So you can see there, we've heated that to 40 degrees. So it's not shocking the system.
The plant is controlled and monitored from a central computer. This shows all the vital temperatures and measurements of the whole complex.
That's my roof pressure. So you can see there as the roof pressure goes up, the engine turns up. Bring it down, dilute it, and then pump it back up into it.
How does it put it in? Is it mechanical or hydraulic or compressed air?
Here, have a look now. This is our pump room.
The movement of gases, liquids and solids starts right here in the pump room.
Inside that there's a stainless steel. Can they all work from the computer?
That's the tour finished. But Tom has still important issues to discuss with Brian. Tom.
To me, anyways, the wind is coming from them digesters down there, and there really is no smell here.
No, there's no. Everything is sealed. Even we have a solid feed hopper there, so trucks will come in, they'll tip into it. The lid comes down. There's no odour released.
Yeah.
These two tall tanks here are for when we get liquid. Say a tanker load of stuff comes in, septic tank material. We pump it into the liquids. They're all fully sealed. The whole system is fully sealed.
Are you prepared to say, though, that if you were in a position a council gave you a planning permission to build there, you would have no problem with building a house there?
I'd have no problem building a house here at all.
Yeah, and that's only, say, about 150 metres from the tank.
Well, you're here now, Tom. Can you smell it?
I've said that there is no smell.
No, if you go out into Europe, into Germany, every town would have one of these plants.
All right.
And the waste heat from burning in the engines, they do a district heat.
Yeah.
So they'll heat everyone's houses in the local area.
Oh, yes.
So once you have district heating, all your locals are feeding in all their waste into it,
Yeah.
and they're getting back free heat.
So is that where it's
In other countries,
Yeah.
these are smack bang in the middle of the town.
Yeah.
They're heating the town.
Yeah. In a number of years down the road, a farmer coming to a unit like this with his slurry every month or every 2 months.
I think all farmers should be coming to a unit like this with all their stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's, as I say, like if you bring in slurry, you can spread it on your ground. There's a serious odour issue off it. It's
There is,
releasing
yeah.
ammonia to the atmosphere. Your bacteria in the ground has to break it down before the plants can uptake it. You're releasing nitrogen into your waterways. You know, there's a lot of negative effects for keeping slatted houses.
Brian, just on behalf of the Men's Shed, we're very, very appreciative of all the work that you've done, and that from the very beginning when we came, you reached out to us and offered us, finance to get the stairs, and we, without a fire escape, we would be in trouble. So we just wish you as a company the very best for the future. The Men's Shed will always be there to support you, whether it's emotional support or whatever support we can give. Please come in anytime, and we just wish you the very best as a company.
More than happy to help, Pat. More than happy to help the Men's Shed and any of the locals around.
Thanks very much.
That's what's in our tanks. So we feed the sludge in that, and that's just full of bacteria. This is what we call our heat distribution room. So as the engine is burning, it's producing electricity and heat. So we use all the heat back here on site ourselves, so the heat isn't wasted. So our heat comes down into that pump there, and then it's dispersed out between the two tanks.
So what thickness was the walls, Brian?
The walls are about, I think they're about 12 inches thick.
Brian, the two tanks there in the foreground, can you explain what exactly they're about?
Our two tanks there are what we call our liquid feed system. So when we get a